As we continue to do some research and development, we find that each and every cannabinoid can do a little something different. And then when you leave them all together, science has shown that get this entourage effect that's just amazing, quite honestly.
I'm Kristy Austin. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment to Lux Media Studios. Welcome to Whole-ly Chit. I am your host, Kristy Austin, here to remind you that you are whole. And chit, a Sanskrit word for pure consciousness, the reason I started this podcast. Today, on today's episode, I'm super excited to introduce our guest. I know he's changed my life and a lot of other people's. His name is Daryle Mabon, the owner of Your CBD Store, Chandler. Or I guess he has several locations now. Is that right,
Just
Daryle?
one more, Chandler and Awatuki.
In Awatuki. Okay, so I met you a couple of years ago. You donated some CBD gummies for my yoga class, and you have several times since. Whenever I do an event, you donate those. And I came into your store and learned a plethora of information. First of all, anybody who doesn't know what CBD is, it comes from the marijuana plant. And when I say your CBD store, it is not just CBD, it is all the compounds of the marijuana plant. Depending on what you need, they've got it for you. So, Daryle, I want to ask you what got you into this line of work? What made you want to open up this store?
Well, really, probably divine intervention, quite honestly. So I worked in the restaurant business my whole entire life. Started when I was 10 at my parents' restaurant. Most recently worked for a national chain, and I was the director of US operations. And about a month before the pandemic hit, they decided they didn't want me anymore. I was quite happy. I thought I was still doing a good job. It was a good paying job with lots of perks. But yeah, they said no more. So I'm like, okay, what's next? And literally a week before that had happened, our friends moved or were moving back from Canada, and they were going to open, your CBD store as well. And so they stayed with us and they went and toured a few stores in Tucson, and we're super excited about it. And came back and told Laura and I, my wife, and I all about it. And I was like, that's so awesome for you guys, but I have a job. And then a week later, I didn't have a job. So, and then
Divine
we all,
intervention.
yes, and then we kind of all know what happened roughly a month later after that. And so we left it alone. I got to spend lots of time with Asher, our son, who was 9 months at the time, and Laura, and ultimately circled back to your CBD store in the summertime. And again, just loved the brand, loved the atmosphere of the store. It's not probably what you might be thinking when you think of CBD. You could possibly think of a smoke shop or a vape shop or a dispensary. And we're not that at all. And that was never the founder's goal. So really like that style of things and just being able to help people. You got to be able to do something to lay your head on the pillow at night and be okay with that. And we were. So all the dominoes kind of fell into place. Our Chandler location is a couple of blocks from our house, and the lease negotiations and everything went super smooth. And we opened on November 3rd, 2020, here in Chandler. And then roughly 11 months after that, 10 months after that, we purchased the existing store in Awatuki as well. So we are at the two stores. And so that's kind of, it. And now that it's been almost 3.5 years, I don't, see myself doing anything else.
And when you say that it's not your typical store, what you think, I 100% agree. I've been to smoke shops before. It is not a smoke shop. It is um, something completely different, just the atmosphere and the education. when I walked in your store, I'm looking, there's a wall of skincare products, a wall for your animals, a wall for dieting, a wall for sleeping, anxiety. I'm like, where did I just walk into and what's going on? I had no idea that there was so many components to marijuana and how each one affects our moods, minds, all different kinds of things. What have you learned since working there and how has it affected you the most?
Well, I think I've learned not all things, that's for sure, because I don't know that you ever learn everything. Our PhD scientist that's on staff, Dr. Anthony Ferrari, he drives all the formulations. He still talks about how he's learning. So I'm light years behind him. But I will just interject quick and say all of our products come from the hemp plant. So all of ours are derived from hemp. You can get cannabinoids certainly out of marijuana as well, but typically marijuana has higher concentrations of THC. That's
Mm,
the tetrahydrocannabidiol. That is the compound that will cause, psychoactivity or psychotropic events, the high feeling,
mm,
if you will. Whereas our store, because of the 2018 Farm Bill, when that was made legal, hemp was made legal, hemp-derived products specifically made legal, provided that they have 0.3% or less THC. So
mm.
everything in our store is that. And so we operate as a specialty retail store also because of that. So we can take credit cards. I have a bank account. There will not be an armed guard out front, which I know that some dispensaries certainly have and probably need, given the amount of cash they deal with. Um, but I think one of the things that I learned right off the bat was that CBD, we actually create cannabinoids in our body.
Mm.
So we often become cannabinoid deficient, but the two that we create are anandamide and 2-AG. So we have a full system of receptors, head to toe, called an endocannabinoid system that is ultimately exactly for that, cannabinoids. So CBD is a cannabinoid. CBN is a cannabinoid. CBG is a cannabinoid. There is roughly 120, cannabinoids, minor cannabinoids that you can get out of the hemp plant, and we've really only scratched the surface with about 20 of them.
Wow.
And as we continue to do some research and development, we find that each and every cannabinoid can do a little something different. And then when you leave them all together, science has shown that when you leave most of the plant together, you get this entourage effect that's just amazing, quite honestly. Um,
That's what surprised me was I thought it was just CBD. I went in your store and said, okay, when I first met you, I was having uh, insomnia. I couldn't sleep at night. And so I came to you and I said, okay, well, Daryle, what do you got for me? I need to be able to sleep. And you referred me to these gummies and said, take one when you're ready to go to sleep. I went home and you said start with half just because you just to get yourself used to it. So I
yeah,
took half. It's a little tiny thing. I'm thinking this thing's not going to affect me. I popped it in. I'm going to do some stuff and then read my emails before I go to bed. So I open up my phone, I get in bed, and I'm thinking I have a good half an hour before it starts to hit. Within, I don't even know. Honestly, I woke up the next morning at 7 a.m. I slept through the whole night, didn't get up to go to the bathroom, didn't get up at all. I woke up, my phone was on my chest because I had fallen asleep looking at my emails, thinking I had plenty of time. And it just hit me like that. When it hit me, there was no, you're getting tired. It was just, you're out.
yeah,
You're out. And then I woke up feeling refreshed the next morning. I was amazed. So you had me hooked. I started to you and I was like, okay, I need my gummies. So, but you
yeah.
told me that it wasn't just CBD, it had the CBN and THC. It was the combination of all of them that you said gives you the best benefits when you combine all of them. I didn't know that there was so many different components. And you also said one of those components like helps with losing weight because I always thought it would make you gain weight because it makes you hungry. Like I learned so much from you.
Yeah. Yeah, so certainly a lot has to do with formulations and how you blend things together. And so, probably 90% of our store is, primarily CBD products with, the trace amounts of the other minors and THC. But there is certainly targeted, things when we target sleep. CBN has been linked to nighttime relaxation, sleep. It does its best job to try and get you into that REM cycle, and keep you there a bit longer. That's where restorative sleep comes from, and ultimately that's where you dream a lot too. So people say I'm dreaming a lot. I'm like, well, that's positive because you're in that REM cycle then. So, but yeah, each cannabinoid, when properly formulated, can certainly, assist with other things in the body. So, you mentioned, trim is was our first clinical trial that we did. It's a hemp derived, weight loss program, or product, sorry. And it ultimately has a lot of positive things that can happen when you take it. Now, it's the same. CBD is a lot of the same as other things in life. If you work out, once a month, or if you eat right here and there, you're not going to get the same sort of benefit as if you're diligent, consistent, and reproducible with your CBD use to keep your endocannabinoid system, functioning the way you want it to. So that product specifically has no stimulants, no caffeine, and no sugar, which you would expect in a weight loss product,
And it
one, two,
makes
or
you
all
lose
three of those.
weight.
And
Wow.
so it doesn't have any of those. It was a clinical trial over 90 days. All 100 out of 100 people lost weight. The 25 people that took a placebo all gained weight. And not only that, but we took other markers because, again, we're formulating these products for wellness, overall wellness, not just, specific areas, because it's all tied together. So those 100 people reported they were sleeping 300% better at roughly the 5-week mark. And as we've continued to do clinical trials, we're getting a better idea of how much, kind of milligrams you need daily, and also that it can take a variety of different time lengths to get your body into homeostasis. And homeostasis is a fancy word for balance. So, and that's what CBD is always striving to do. So at the 5-week mark, they were sleeping 300% better. They had less inflammation, which led to less pain, because typically inflammation leads to pain, and they had less anxiety. And 37 of those people on that trial were pre-diabetic, and their blood sugar levels returned to normal. So I think
Wow.
that's what just shows you what reproducible, consistent use of CBD can do for you. And it ultimately works as a suppressant because, yes, THCV, the little carbon tail that's different from THC, fits into your receptor and turns it off. So it makes you feel full. And so when you do that, you maybe eat a little bit less. But again, it's all about just getting your body into balance, getting that endocannabinoid system functioning properly. And the sky's really the limit on how good you can feel. So it also has turmeric in it, and we do that with a lot of our products. Putting other naturally occurring ingredients from the earth into products that can help with things like inflammation, or gut health, or whatever the case is. So it's not just ever going to be CBD isolate, because while that's good for you, you often need a lot of it, and you don't get that same entourage effect, if you will.
So that's your product called Trim. So
Correct.
it's branded more for weight loss, but I think it's incredible that it should be branded towards diabetics.
Everything.
In my opinion, and but it can balance out the for diabetics, it balances out their sugars, which is pretty incredible. Instead of putting people on medications, they should be trying this. If you're pre-diabetic, or I would say to try this product. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, we were pretty happy. We did it in conjunction with the Mayo Clinic back in 2021, maybe late 2020 as well. So, and again, that's another great thing about Sunmed, your CBD store, is that everything is backed by science. So, every single product in the store has a QR label on it that takes you up to 7 to 10 pages of data on that specific product. And we have about 160 different SKUs. So that's a lot of tests and a lot of reports. But that's our transparency promise to the consumer, is that you want to know, what's going in your body, and that will show you not only what's in it from a a cannabinoid profile, but also what's in it from a terpene profile. And terpenes, we haven't even talked about that yet, but there's terpenes in all of our products as well, which is just
What is
different
that?
plant materials that can enhance the therapeutic action. Things like carfarfaline or lilanol. Those are terpenes or flavonoids that we get out of the plant as well. So
Okay.
myrcene or limonene, all those can help with different things in the body too. So all of those, things in the product can certainly um, provide better balance, wellness, and all that is listed on the lab report, as well as other things that you don't want in there. Things like we test for microtoxins and we test for bacteria and heavy metals and solvents and all those things that you don't want, that quite frankly a lot of CBD companies use. So as we continue to learn more and get into this and hopefully someday have some regulation, we are treating this industry as it's regulated already. So when there is some regulation that does come, we won't have to change anything from labeling to testing to anything like that. Whereas again, a lot of companies are cutting corners in how they extract it, how they, formulate it, how they make it, how they misrepresent their labels. Do they get tested? Do they not get tested? So it's unfortunately not a super well respected industry just as of yet. So
Believing Before Seeing, a new bestseller by Candace Barr. Order your copy today.
Yeah, I think it's really amazing all the different products that you have, and then also you have different ways to get it in your system. You have gummies, and then tell us all the different kinds, because you have like the droppers,
yep. So
also
oil
the spray.
tinctures. Oil
Mhm.
tinctures would be one way. That'd be sublingual. So you'd hold it under your tongue, let it absorb. It gets into your glands, into your blood vessels in your mouth. So it bypasses, the stomach in essence. Gummies would go through the stomach. You would have to metabolize and digest those first. We have a water soluble line that you put in a little bit of water or juice and you just drink it. So it's emulsified, so it's more bioavailable or like our bloodstream. So it can get into your system quicker. So it's great for those kind of fight or flight scenarios that we come across, whether it be waves of anxiousness or stress like a big meeting with the boss, or flights or rush hour traffic or in-laws or whatever kind of stresses you out throughout the day.
And
Not
that's
as quick as vape or smokables. Vape or smokables we have as well, and those are the fastest because they're a vapor, so they're into your bloodstream kind of instantly. You get
oh
that
wow.
instant feedback, but we don't ever necessarily recommend that as a standalone product because it is, I don't want to say fleeting, but it doesn't last nearly as long. So if we're dealing with chronic, ongoing things, then that is a help certainly in those very intense moments. But we'd want more of a foundational product to kind of help out overall.
Mhm. And then you also have a line for a skin care. So you have oils and lotions, like a spray, I heard, like a spray. And then for animals, good does what purpose does it serve for animals? Like, are we talking about sick animals, anxious animals?
Yep. Yeah. So any mammal has that same endocannabinoid system that I spoke about earlier. So dogs, cats, horses. I have a lady that gives our CBD to her goat, and it's helped her. So that same endocannabinoid system can help provide balance in our pets as well. So we have a full line of pet products. The oil is USDA certified organic, and then the four treats we have are all we've partnered with the National Animal Supplement Council. So in essence, working with veterinarians to make sure these treats are top of the line. And again, they have various targeted ingredients in them, depending on what we're looking to help solve in animals, whether it be allergies, for instance, or probiotic, or the two big ones are they're called moving easy and chilling out. So moving easy has green lipped mussels, which really helps feed a dog's or a cat's immune system, which again is where all the inflammation is held. And then the CB or the chilling out treat has CBN, CBD, tryptophan, passion flower, and chamomile. So five kind of naturally calming agents to help with that separation anxiety or plane trips or car rides or fireworks
Oh.
or anything like that. So yeah, full line of pet products as well.
So it helps with allergies, you said?
It
In animal?
can. Yeah, it can. You know, we will
No.
always, we'll always do our best to not speak in absolutes because
Right.
everybody is different, and we're not ever going to say treat, cure, prevent, or anything like that. We'll give you a lot of information on how things work, and then you know, there's no one size fits all. But yeah, allergies with any skin issues or things like that. There's bromelain in it, which is like nature's Benadryl. There's nettle root. There's quercetin. There's a lot of, again, other active ingredients that can promote just overall balance and wellness with skin health for dogs too. And you mentioned skin products earlier. CBD is a natural antioxidant, so it can help with our skin. So yeah, bath bombs, bath soaks are super
Wow.
good for the body. You know, because then you're getting CBD kind of into every pore. But yeah, lots of positives. CBD is again an all natural product that can just help balance us out.
I like how you said it's nature's natural Benadryl. Because you don't really think about that, but everybody knows Benadryl when they have allergy attack. Usually, you reach for the Benadryl, so it's a natural uh, plant medicine that's has the same effect as Benadryl. That's pretty incredible. And uh, how about cancer?
So again, we're not there's studies happening, you know, and we're blessed in the fact that we get to spend an hour with our PhD scientist there, Dr. Tony, every Friday, and he'll answer questions. And he says there's lots of positive things going on, you know, with cancer. We're never going to say again one way or the other what it can do. What we know
Wow.
that it possibly can help with is those side effects of cancer, whether that be the nausea or the lack of appetite, or you know, just any other kind of small things in the body to help us be a little bit more balanced. So we have lots of people that have used it, you know, either during or after chemo, before chemo radiation, to help with kind of the side effects more or less that can come from that. So, but yeah, again, we love talking to people. You know, our founder, she wanted your CBD store visit to be the best part of someone's day. Because ultimately, if they're coming into our store, there's probably something happening that they don't really like or want. Maybe they're at their wits' end with Western medicine, or they're, you know, can't get any results or answers. And so we routinely spend 45 minutes to an hour with new customers answering questions, letting them try products, so that they know flavor, texture. Quite often the products they'll feel an effect from it right away, as well, depending on the delivery system that they use. And so that was certainly Rachel's kind of goal and vision when she founded the company, well, almost 6 years ago now. So it grew from one store to about 400 plus in 6 years. So I think that
That
speaks
that's
to the quality of the brand and what CBD
definitely
can do for us.
It speaks to the quality of the brand, and that's what I appreciate most when I went into your store was the education. I did not think that it was at all what it is. I walked in thinking, okay, let me check this place out, and I was just blown away by the education that the people who work there were willing to give. And there was a woman who was in there with shingles, and so that's how I learned about the skincare line, because she came in for some product to put on her sores. And I heard she was getting a spray and all this different stuff. I had no idea that you had so many different products to offer. And so I went around your store and I tried the gummies, and I tried the little water solubles,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
it tasted delicious. Can I just say that it was like a tropical, you had like a little table in the center that had uh tasters. And so I tried the little gummy, and then I tried the put the water, and I put the drops in the water. It was like a tropical flavor, and it was
Yeah.
delicious. And I have to say, I did that at the beginning, and while I was talking to you, I felt it kick in, and I just felt so this rush of mellow come over me. That's all I can describe it as, like, oh, I'm so calm all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of you know what it's ultimately trying to do, is it's trying to help that quick. And yeah, it's, you're not going to go from 10 to a 0, you know, if you came in, you know, on whatever scale you were on at a 10, but certainly Yeah, it can provide a bunch of different adjectives, whether it be calm or chill or relaxed or level or focused or, whatever it might be. And it's different for everybody. One thing I learned, pretty early is that there's no real right or wrong answer when people tell us how our products are working for them or how they aren't, because everybody's body is so different. Everybody's physiology is so different that what one thing that helps people sleep should not, but it helps them. So great, like, let's continue with it. I don't ever tell people to change anything, even if it's not quite right, if it's helping them. So yeah, it's crazy how much I've learned about the body and everything in the last 3+ years.
Yes. Well, I've learned so much from you. What is your favorite product, Daryl? Can you share that with me?
Just one. um
Wait, good point.
to me, it's probably the neuro. That's short for neurological. That is a water soluble product that I put in 4 ounces of water every morning, give it a good stir, and kind of down the hatch. So broad spectrum products pass through the blood brain barrier much quicker. So they really can focus in on the receptors we have in our neurological system. And it's got a lot of CBG in it. So CBG stands for cannabigerol, and that really focuses in on the neurological system, for lack of a better analogy, but that's why it's neuro for short. So things like mental focus, clarity, acuity, brain fog, even some energy,
Mhm.
uh, that would be something that I hardly ever go without, for sure.
Well, thank you, because now I'm going to have to try that. Thank you for letting me know about another product that I have yet to try. I'm going to have to try that one now. Thank you for that. Um,
Absolutely.
the what is do you remember the gummies that you gave me for sleeping? But what is it
Yeah.
called? Do you remember?
So it's a ratio gummy. It's called 1 to 1 to 1. So it's an indica strain, and it's got 8 milligrams of CBG, CBD, and THC. And you may ask, how can we get 8 milligrams, of THC in a gummy, even though we have to be 0.3% or less? So that is actually 0.225. So it is still well below the legal limit, but it's measured by dry weight basis. So when you get a heavier, dense gummy, then you can get a little bit more. And we're putting it in there again to drive that therapeutic action, to try and give the body the best of all those worlds: the CBN, the CBD, and then the THC. So, and since then we've come out with a clinically trialed sleep gummy that quite honestly could be better for you.
Oh, wow.
It's got a lot more CBD and a lot more CBN, and actually a little less THC. But I can barely keep it on the shelf. So it's been met with rave reviews. And again, that clinical trial is available on our website. With 660 people took part of it. So that's something that's important to us, is research, development, clinical trials, because that's really how you can get the word out about properly used CBD products, as opposed to
Right.
just throwing darts at a dartboard and hoping for the best. So
Another product I need to try. Looks like I need to take a trip to your store, Daryl.
come on down.
All right. So I think we're about out of time, but I want you to share your social media information, where people can find your stores. I know you have two locations. So if you don't mind letting people know where to find you.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, we have our two spots, one in Chandler, which is 975 East Riggs Road, unit number 3. And then that's in Chandler. And then the one in Awatuki is 4802 East Ray Road, also unit number 3. Some symmetry there. And
Mhm.
that's in Phoenix, just off the 48th and Ray. The website is getsunmed.com. Lots of positive products, or lots of positive things on there, like all the products. And certainly there's a learn tab as well. We post a blog 3 or 4 times a week just about general wellness. And then our Instagram is your CBD store Chandler or your CBD store Awatuki.
Okay. So it's your CBD store, either with a Chandler behind it or Awatuki
Correct.
behind,
Yep.
depending on which store you want.
Yep.
And I like the synchronicity of the three.
Yeah.
I think you need to now open a third one to have the trifecta effect.
Yeah, we'd love that. Hopefully that's in the future.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Daryle. I really appreciate the plethora of information that you're bringing to us. And hopefully that this opened up the eyes of some people that maybe needed suggestions on different issues that they're dealing with. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. I love you. And I'll come into the store to see you soon. All
Great. Well, I appreciate you having me. And yes, we're here for any and all questions. So have a great day, Kristy.
right. Thank you. Stay tuned for next week's episode of Whole-ly Chits.